in a world that's falling apart.
Two friends roll the dice on movies and talk about the roles each film has had in their lives and more.
It's Cinema Roll!
Hello, I'm your host, Fish, and let's give it up for your other host.
Hi, that's me, Squid. In our last episode, we rolled the dice to choose a movie.
And the movie is Easy A.
This episode's movie was Easy A, released in 2010.
Screw all these people, all of them.
Haven't you heard? I already did.
I had not seen this movie before, and I did have it wishlisted. Fish, how about you?
Oh man, I had this favorited.
How many times did you watch it this time around?
Twice only, but I'd seen this one a bunch of times before, so how about you?
I watched it twice as well. I was able to rent the DVD from the library. I didn't have time to watch all of the special features, but I did watch it through twice.
I got to unearth the Blu-ray from the depths of my closet where I keep the physical media I barely use anymore. Since we're on the topic of the physical media side of things, man, do I miss loading screens and all the art and effort people put into making DVDs and Blu-rays. Because now when you watch something digitally, you don't get any of that extra fun little things that it was somebody's job to do that. And I miss it.
Sometimes they speed through the credits and drop them down into a little side screen so you can choose the next thing to watch, which would have been a huge disappointment at the end of this movie because I thought the credit scene was absolutely delightful in both cases, opening and closing credits, I should say. Okay, and let's just jump into it. Did you notice in the end credits that there is a couple walking two miniature ponies?
Oh, what?
Yes, you have to go back. We were watching it last night for the last time, and I was like, are those miniature ponies? And they are. They're not like Great Danes or something. They are full-blown miniature ponies that a couple is walking when you drive by them. It's amazing.
That's amazing. But they're random people. It's not somebody we saw in the movie at some point.
I don't think it's because you only see them from behind, so I don't think it's anybody from the actual movie. It must have been someone in the neighborhood that they filmed in, that they were just filming B-roll or whatever. It's quite delightful.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's because of the fact that I've seen this a bunch of times, because this is the first movie we've done that I am recently and just in general very familiar with. But I ended up thinking through just a lot of the random facts of it and doing more of that kind of analysis than I think I am used to doing. For example, I had a lot of fun just playing around with the very opening stuff and looked up that the Ojai Wine Festival is a real thing. And OhaiWineFestival.com is a real site you can go to, and it is actually hosted at Lake Casitas, which is on the banner on the one street that they're always on in this movie. Mm-hmm. But this is the 38th year of the Ojai Wine Festival, so you could go there, celebrate your birthday at the Ojai Wine Festival.
Tempting. Okay, so in addition to that stuff, what was the thing you had to pay attention to that you had rolled last time again?
Fashion.
Of course, your other specialty.
It's my specialty.
right next to color theory. I did not pay attention to color theory this time. I paid attention to cinematography.
I, as an obvious resident fashionista here, got to go over attire and whatnot for this movie. Great choice for me.
Perhaps you should get a wardrobe, you abominable twat.
It was interesting as a kind of broad strokes note that fashion was pretty central, at least to Olive's character, and very important to visualizing and showcasing her transition throughout this movie. And I thought because of that I was going to have a ton of notes about that side of it and the red A and everything. And I do have some, but I realized kind of halfway through that part of it that it is a one note concept. She puts a red A on everything.
Even her cardigan, when she goes on a date, has a red A on it, which I thought was kind of funny.
I'll get to that part, but I do want to start out and kind of almost go chronologically here, both because it's important to the plot somewhat, but also because one of my favorite things about this was that you start on that great courtyard shot and it goes through, looks at all of the different groups in high school.
Mhm.
And you get to see, I mean, obviously I didn't go to high school in California, but I still felt like it was pretty well represented. I assume
It's
groups are groups pretty
I'm
much
gonna
wherever you are.
slightly jumping in the cinematography of it a little bit. It was very quintessential early 2000s teen movie. Mean Girls did it. That's kind of what it made me think of a little bit. And
Yep.
I'm certain it was probably done in Clueless. She's All That. Can't Hardly Wait probably did it. It just felt so of the times. I loved it.
Yeah. And so I will apologize in advance because if anything, I've usually gone to you for fashion advice. So if any of this is painful, I'm sorry, but maybe it'll be really fun for exactly that reason. This is not fashion related, but there were 4 dudes playing rock, paper, scissors in that opening scene. And I'm like, who stands around in a high school courtyard playing rock, paper, scissors? I didn't understand that.
And
But
what kind of group was that supposed to be? Not the nerds, because they wouldn't be playing rock,
Nope.
paper, scissors. They would be playing on their calculators, making
Right.
boobs or something.
It felt like it was a hacky sack circle. It was rock, paper, scissors.
They all
instead.
forgot to bring their hacky sacks to the filming.
So it was rock, paper, scissors. We had to go get the hacky sacks. But all right, so you had the skateboarders and the break dancers, and then my favorite was they did this weird goth grunge combo where like the smoking kids that Mr. Griffith addresses are like in all black, but also had the like flannel and the skull caps. And
Was it maybe emo?
I mean, except I don't know.
They didn't really have
long
like the
blonde
sweepy hair and the
No, it was I don't know, it was confusing. I think they just were like, we have limited real estate, so let's just cram as many things into as many different groups as possible. That was kind of just my general takeaway. But there's a lot to Olive. Before we get there, I did want to comment that we get this little bit of backstory of her best friend Rhiannon. When you first see her, she's jean shorts and plaid button-ups, and I kind of felt like she's supposed to be a little bit part of the granola hippie crowd, especially with who her parents are.
maybe she's trying
they
not
didn't really
to be
wear
part
clothes.
of that crowd.
So, and then you had the whole Christian crowd, Anne and her group. She also had these button-up shirts, but they're always unbuttoned a few so that she could show off her cross.
A different
necklace
cross
was always
in almost every single scene, but that makes sense given who her father is. So
for sure. I did like for Mr. Griffith, he was always in basically the exact same outfit throughout the entire movie. Blue dress shirt, slacks, dress shoes, belt. And I felt like it kind of showed that he does take his job seriously. He's not like suit and tie, tweed jacket serious. He's, approachable and relatable. And so
he reminded me a lot of one of my favorite professors from college, both in kind of in his attitude and his looks. We called him Doc G. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw Mr. Griffin.
Nice. And then the last non-Olive piece that I really wanted to call out, I don't think really counts as a fashion note, but I feel like it'd be fun for the next 2 Halloweens to go as Todd's different mascot outfits.
Yes, frankly, I think that counts.
I would have to be somewhere warm for the Blue Devil year, and I don't think I really want to carry around a full wheelbarrow of wood.
That you have to... The sound sounded so fake, and I found myself wondering both times I watched if it was added after the fact or if it was like a sound effect that they played on the PA system. So? I'm not sure, but it was so like mechanical. I'm going to get a little sidetracked for a second. I thoroughly enjoyed that both Stanley Tucci and Penn Badgley were in this because I love Devil Wears Prada and also watched, I think, 2.5 seasons of You.
Okay.
And their characters in this movie also live in those.
I was gay once for a while. No big deal.
Right. When you were working for Miranda Priestley. And then I was like, oh, Olive's rejection of Lobster Todd, perhaps after this movie takes place, is why he becomes so obsessive and why he turns into the character in You.
I like the idea.
Yeah, that's my theory. This is all the same universe. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. All right, so now we can dive into Olive. And, when she starts out, which I have to call out, I really enjoyed the misdirect before you ever see her during the opening narration where you're they're tracking on this one girl and following her, and you're like, oh, maybe that's who this is. And then she runs into and knocks Olive over. But that's pretty good. So right out of the gate, she's a tank top girl, right? She was various tank tops and pants and like little black overshirts with probably better names for the things for the way of describing them. I did not do any searching on what things are called, so I'm just calling it like I see it. But yeah, I mean, just normal, comfortable, understated clothes. And then, that the like right after the rumor hits, the next day she's wearing more black. She has her like chain necklace on.
And it felt like a lower cut tank top, I think, too.
Yeah. And that's when you get the
So what's with your new look? Very horror couture.
comment. And I thought an important note to this, though, was that when Olive goes to the party, she borrows her mom's dress and she's trying to, quote, look slutty. But it's not her clothes, that's her mom's.
Well,
Right, so...
I wonder if it was a dress from like when she was maybe in high school or college, when she later talks about how she was a total slut.
Right. But the point being is she doesn't have clothes she considers to be slutty. Like she's
Right.
She
has to
I
buy
dress how
that
I dress. I'm
lingerie.
right. After she fights with Ree, she runs out to a lingerie store and buys a bunch of stuff and then does a lot of angry and painful sewing.
But also very, very relatable rage crafting. I have totally been there. I have been habit crunched on my floor, cursing at and burning myself on hot glue guns multiple times. 100%. I was like, that is the most relatable scene in this movie.
So now for pretty much the rest of the movie, with the exception of the webcast scenes, she is pretty much in like corsets basically the rest of the movie, which she herself has said are 2 sizes too small.
I assumed the 2 sizes too small thing was her gym clothes.
It sounded to me like the clothes that she was wearing in general were 2 sizes too small.
The shorts, if they were really too small, it was because they were like folded over 5 times. And maybe the shirt was too small. It felt like just a standard baby tee, but baby tees weren't in 2010. But I don't think that the lingerie was 2 sizes too small, because if you have lingerie that's too small and it's a corset, 1, you cannot breathe and move, and 2, her boobs would have just been popping out of them.
Or you would probably have like ripped it when you were moving around, like torn seams or something.
I mean, I've worn corsets to Ren Fair multiple times, and they are meant to be tight, which is maybe why it felt 2 sizes too small to her. But at the same time, like when she's in the actual corset during the scene, you can see it's not too small on her.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, it might just have been something she said to make you remember that these things are uncomfortable. Or if you're like me and have never worn one, just to be like, yeah, it's not comfortable. It feels like it's 2 sizes too small.
Yeah, that might have been it, is that it felt 2 sizes too small, but you don't want to say, I'm wearing clothes that feel 2 sizes too small.
So I did appreciate the commitment to putting the red A everywhere, even on her gym clothes or the giant necklace.
Which would have been an easier solution to the whole thing.
100%.
Did you notice the necklace she wore with the black corset?
Are you talking about the like fakeish looking pearl necklace?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just thought it was a really funny touch. And given that she's technically a virgin and presumably hasn't done anything with a boy and didn't know what a
imaginary butterbean, lemon squeeze, cowbell,
and any of that other stuff was, I don't know that she would really know what a pearl necklace was either. So not sure if it was done on purpose on her part or not, but I thoroughly enjoyed it regardless. For the record, I also don't know what a lemon squeeze and a kettle cowbell thing is.
It's a reverse cowbell or something.
Something I refused to Google. No, thank you.
I like to believe that they made those up for this movie, and I am not going to go to Urban Dictionary for those.
Absolutely not.
Good. So I want to take just a second, call out the one super weird. I don't even think you can say that it didn't age well, because I don't know that there's ever really a time where this would have been a good comment. But your thoughts on
Jews and I have a lot in common, just fashion-wise and stuff.
I'm so glad you picked up on that. I didn't hear fashion-wise on my first watch. I heard it on my second watch, and I was like, what? I don't know. It was very bizarre.
That one line, I was like, okay, I get the joke here. It's a little messed up to say that, especially considering the fashion choices for her are something she's doing to herself. The red A versus the yellow stars, not quite the same.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's,
overall, generally tasteless tasteless, probably written to be funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of not. But easy to overlook. I missed it the first watch, so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't remember that prior to this particular watch. But all right, moving on. The last kind of big outfit choice, right, is the pep rally where she announces the webcast and she's got the red and black feather boa. I liked that she commented that this was like her last outfit. It made it sound like there was a plan, but I don't feel like there was.
Yeah.
So,
It was also a little hard to tell how long this movie took place over. Like, I know it said something about like,
True.
oh, the last week or the last 2 weeks, but it felt like it could have been longer than that. Like, yeah, rumors spread so quickly. This was just a week.
Yeah.
I did make a note about the fashion because I was like, what school is okay with this wardrobe? Like, we were barely allowed tank tops. But like the hemline is a note in the handbook, but it's totally fine that she's wearing literal lingerie without anything under it, mind you. Like, she's not layering the lingerie over, you know, a baby tee or another tank top or like anything like that. She was wearing literal lingerie, and then she was like, my hemline hasn't been an inch above my fingertips, so I'm totally fine here.
But also, I will say two things. One is that Mr. Griffith does call her on it, that he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think it was more personal than it was like you personally, Olive. What are you doing right now?
Yeah, I did super appreciate that he doesn't make a comment about like her body or her boobs. He just kind of is like, what is going on here?
That is good, and he does prove to be a pretty good guy throughout the movie, but also he wouldn't really have a leg to stand on with the whole thing with his wife if he were like that. But the principal, he was like,
if I can keep the girls off the pole and the boys off the pipe, I get a bonus.
He seemed to pick and choose his battles. I did think it was, and this is getting into the regular notes side of everything, but I did think it was lame that he cared so much about the fact that she called Nina the word she called her. Yeah.
I'll say it. Twat. Because
it's like, if that's your goal, do you really care that she called another female student a name of any kind? Like, is that really your big concern?
That's the issue here.
That's pretty much all I had, because then in the webcast, she's back to her regular comfy tanks. And,
she definitely seemed to have like a standard uniform.
So Squid, what did you have for cinematography?
Okay, so the opening credits were like the names of the actors and the directors and everything integrated into the scene was absolutely beautiful. I loved that. You hardly see stuff like that anymore, I feel like, and I really liked it. I already mentioned the camera walking through the schoolyard and how like cliche early 2000s movies it was, but I absolutely loved it. I really liked how throughout the movie, when there was something, we'll call it important, going on, like when Olive and Rhiannon are having their conversation about what did or didn't happen with the non-existent college boy, the camera's really close to them. It gets really close to Olive when she's in the confessional, but I really liked that when there was something kind of important being discussed, it was a very intimate shot and you were very close with the characters having that discussion. It kind of really made you feel like you were a part of the conversation. I really, really loved the speedy movement of the camera. Almost like today it would be a drone shot, that kind of higher up spin through the school that loops right back onto Olive, kind of showing the speed of the gossip. I thought was really cool. I really liked when you get to the party, the camera's kind of walking through and like peeks in the window and you feel like you have arrived at a party. I also really liked that the camera was like one of the kids listening at the door. You were like right there at the door, almost where, you know, one of the kids is like, what smells? And he like almost addresses the camera. Like
that line.
That whole scene was absolutely hilarious. I also really liked that scene though, where they're in the side-by-side bathroom stalls and he's graffitiing the bathroom stall and she's cleaning it. I thought that was cute. Oh, I don't know if you caught this ever, but there was a subtle fourth wall break when Olive is consoling Marianne and Marianne says, I got through to you. Olive like kind of glances over Marianne's shoulder, like at the camera for a very brief second. And it really made you feel like you were kind of an onlooker and not just like watching from the camera. Kind of wish she did it a little bit more, but I also really liked the shot of Marianne when she finds out her boyfriend has chlamydia, which by the way, I cannot spell at all, and got it, you know, quote unquote from Olive. There's a TV screen in the foreground, but out of focus, and there's a flock of birds on it. And when she screams, the flock of birds erupts. I thought that
Awesome.
was brilliantly done. I really liked, I think I mentioned it before, the closeness of the camera to Olive during her confession. We talked about it a little bit in our last episode about how when they were filming the scene at the turkey curry party, where Bridget is surrounded by people but still alone. I thought they did a really good job of doing that same exact thing in that lunchroom scene where it's the shot of her from the top down at that empty table surrounded by people, but then even after she's approached and asked on a date, she's still very clearly alone. I thought they did a really good job of doing that exact same thing, just showing how easy it is to be alone in a room surrounded by people.
Especially in high school.
Yeah, for sure. I liked, like I mentioned earlier, that slow ride down the road through the credits with the credits kind of worked into that scene, and how it was kind of a nice change of pace, but also a nod to the very beginning of the movie. You kind of zoomed in from a blue sky and came down in, and you went back out to a blue sky. And I found myself wondering, and I didn't look into this at all, if any of it or how much of it was filmed on a handheld camera. I know that Chicago Fire was one of the first TV series filmed, I believe, on a handheld DSLR, and I felt like a lot of these scenes would have been really hard to film with a big, huge camera on a dolly. And I found myself wondering if they used any handheld DSLRs to film like the group of people during the fake sex scene. I felt like a handheld camera would have just been an easier way to do that, but I'm not sure. And then I found myself wondering if they actually used the webcam to record her confession. I feel like they did. It also kind of bothered me that she kept moving the webcam to like hold up her little sign. Like, why not just move yourself? It felt like that would be easier, or hold the sign up in front of you. I don't know. That's all the notes I have on that. Like, I didn't really have too many other cinematography notes.
It's an interesting one to get too deep into the weeds.
A lot of it was filmed like you were a student at the school as opposed to watching a movie. Kind of like Project X. I don't know if you've seen that.
That doesn't sound familiar. All right, so despite really enjoying this movie, I want to make a case for why I don't think this movie would really happen, because I don't think anybody would care. So Olive is 17 in a public high school in California. If she were actually sexually active, she's definitely not the only person.
For sure not.
Right? Nobody knows this guy, just that he's older. Olive's not killer.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to have a large friend group. Mary Ann's really annoying, but she herself only has about 5 friends. So she doesn't seem like she's super popular or people really listen to her. And I feel like if somebody overheard Olive lost her virginity, I feel like the responses to that are going to be one of two things. Who? Or so? Like,
absolutely, I totally agree.
If I'm around there, I'm just like, I don't buy this point. And it a little pains me to say this because I feel like, it's a movie I really like, but I don't know. I find it hard to buy that this really even happens. And then, even if it does, let's say we get to this point. At some point in the movie, in the course of this whole thing, people just stop coming up and paying her for this service because everybody knows about it. So you either one of two things, either you think that she's actually having sex with all these people or doing all these things, but the rumor of the money side of it seemed to spread also. So just like, if she's, I don't know, maybe that part's not.
The rumor on the money thing was twofold, right? There was a sub rumor where she was getting paid to fake have sex with people or fake let them feel her up or whatever. So there was that rumor.
The rumor of her getting paid to say it, to lie about it, is true.
Right, she was getting paid to lie about it, but then the rumor was that she was actually getting paid for sexual favors. But how did those two not get crossed? If she calls a girl a twat and it turns into
when you got suspended for calling Nina Hal a dick and you punch her in the left tit.
Like, there's no way those people kept that secret well enough and that one of those people didn't tell someone who then turned around and told someone else, like, oh my God, Johnny just told me that he didn't actually have sex with Olive. He paid her to say she did. Like, how did that not become a rumor too?
There's, in this whole thing, there's a guy who wanted to make some other girl jealous. And so he paid Olive and was like, hey, say we did this, and then it backfires, and that girl's like, ew, gross, I'm not gonna be with you. And he's like, no, I didn't really, like. And so then that girl knows, and then that girl tells everybody. So I just, like, it's a fun premise, and I don't want to overthink things, but part of me is like, I just don't think this happens.
Yeah, like the let's just say we kissed and no one will know thing.
The story of
pre-movie,
her and Todd.
yeah, totally believe happened, and I totally believe that people believed it, and that was like their secret between the two of them, which is why it never became anything else. But yeah, I really don't think, unless Rihanna is more popular, and that is maybe, but I don't know why it would matter. Like, why? Yeah, why
but
does it
she's
matter
not the
that
one who
this?
spread it, because it's Marianne overhearing them
Vapor
in the
Girl.
water closet. The
Yeah,
water
who
closet.
fucking says that?
Not people in California in 2010 that I know of. But anyway, it's Marianne that overhears it and then spreads the rumor. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's
Again,
entirely possible that she felt like she was invisible, but was it actually? I don't really know. So I agree that I don't think anyone would have cared.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'm also really quick looking up when Juniper Breeze was discontinued, because I'm pretty
Juniper
sure it
Breeze?
was. She says, like, I was able to get saved 15 cents on Juniper Breeze hand sanitizer.
Oh.
And Juniper Breeze was one of, like, my scents in the 90s. I loved it. And I felt like it was discontinued before this movie came out, but I'm not sure when. I loved it so much, though. Okay, here's a post from 2006 that says it was discontinued.
So I have a few, what I'll call here, appreciation sections that I want to go through. First off, I want to call out, because we can't do this pod without talking about. It's a fantastic scene. It gets stuck in my head every time I watch this movie.
And I think, then they reiterate it with the ringtone.
It's probably the best gag in the movie is the running Pocketful of Sunshine. The fact that she spends all weekend listening to it when she's supposed to be on a date with this guy, like, and having this, magnificent weekend, and she's just sitting with her dog and painting their nails and listening over and over until the card dies, playing Pocketful of Sunshine.
She even has it propped up behind her in the shower.
Uh-huh.
It's like in the little shower nook behind the shampoo bottle as she's like making her little mohawk, which we've all done.
I think it's the best running joke in the whole movie. Real quick, want to throw out whose Nana is sending them a random $5 in a card? Like, what was that for? I don't have any idea. I still don't know. But it doesn't matter.
It was like
because it serves the
Nana
best.
saw the card and thought it was cute and sent it.
That makes sense. And then you have to put something in it.
Did her brother Chip get
fair.
a card though?
I don't know.
I would also like to appreciate the fact that Olive's parents are Dill and Rosemary, and her brother is Chip.
All foods.
In relation to the song, real quick,
yeah,
I thought it was very impressive that she just belted out that song without any care in the world, with her windows wide open. I could never, though I'm sure I have.
And you could. And especially when you were 17, you could. You definitely could.
Totally.
And two other quick things about it. One is I did learn when I was looking something up real quick that apparently Natasha Bedingfield recorded that song in Simlish for the Sims 2 free time.
I heard that too.
So I want to look it up. I haven't done it yet, but that sounds pretty fun. And then I did appreciate the way she worked the lyrics into her description of her weekend. But she's talking to her and she's like,
feels like I got a love and I know that it's all mine.
I didn't catch that.
It's good. You have already referenced a few of these, but the whole John Hughes appreciation section is, first of all, you get Mr. Griffith being like,
mess with the ball, get the horns.
Breakfast Club line. You get multiple Ferris Bueller's Day Off references. Yeah. There's the slicked up hair and the singing in the shower, but then also when she picks up the guitar, her mom's in the room. She said, never had one lesson. We all know this is what's happening because she says life isn't a John Hughes movie, and then she mentions all these other movies. The one I didn't know and had to look up is that apparently when Todd is driving Olive home, the cover of a Thompson Twins song, If You Were Here, is playing, and that is what song is playing when Jake is waiting outside the church for Sam in the scene that they reference in the movie.
Oh, and he's driving her home after the
from
film
the lobster.
Got it.
When he's Lobster Todd.
I missed that entirely.
And then there's just the big medley after the webcast when she runs out.
Yeah.
And you get him on the lawnmower, Can't Buy Me Love, holding up the speakers, That's Say Anything. And then Don't You Forget About Me and the Judd Nelson Fist Pump, Breakfast Club. So it's great. I love all those movies. So seeing it get some love in this
Can't
was
Buy
a
Me
lot
Love.
of fun.
That movie's so good. But yeah, I liked all those references too.
And then we have to give a lot of credit to her parents for being one of the funniest parts of this movie too.
I'm also convinced that Stanley Tucci actually cooked for everybody and that he wasn't doing a whole lot of acting in this role. I adore him. And I feel like this was just how Stanley Tucci is with his family. Stanley Tucci, if you're listening and you'd like to verify that, please feel free to. I loved the I'm adopted scene.
Why does that matter? I'm adopted.
What? Oh my God! Who told you? Guys, we were gonna do this at the right time. Listen to me. Sometimes
Even when a man and a woman love each other very much, like your mother and I used to, their insides just don't cooperate with each other.
As an adoptee, thoroughly enjoyed that.
Or later when he's like, where are you from originally?
While he's smoking a green bean, mind you.
You know they deal with these jokes and this humor all the time, so it's nothing to them, but it's everything to me.
Yeah, 100%.
I did feel like I had to give an award for like best small moment of convincing acting. I felt like Lisa Kudrow's scared and angry shaking when she's confessing to Olive what happened.
I'm so sorry, Olive. I'm sorry, but I messed up. Okay, I just goddamn messed up. Really goddamn shit bad. Goddamn shit goddamn.
Okay, don't get me wrong, because I love it, but I don't think you're supposed to use that kind of language in front of a student.
Yeah, you know what else you're not supposed to do is sleep with them. But that didn't stop me. Goddamn shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good. It feels real. And I liked it. I was impressed.
I'd also like to note that I'm really glad that Facebook and texting were not things when we were in high school.
Yeah, no question. So I have one other way too detailed section before we kind of close out and move into the next stuff. I spent way too long with it, the screen paused, looking at Olive's computer screen. I had to. It's such a great, these things are such a great time capsule for me and my interests. So I want to call out just a few things that were on there. First of all, we had Trillion, which was, for those who don't know, it was what I used after AOL Instant Messenger. I think you could even have other services.
Yeah, I think you could have like your Yahoo and your, well, GChat wasn't a thing yet, but
and that's why I transitional. Used it wasn't just one. There was some icon on there called Lava Lamp 2 and another one called No Smoke. I'm super curious what those were.
I would bet that they're like, do you remember when you could have like a little widget pop up with something? I bet Lava Lamp 2 was the little widget that you could pop up and have. I used to have like a post-it one.
But the wildest thing, and I'm so glad I did this. Okay, so early on in the movie, do you remember what it is that Olive says about Brienne, what she let some guy do to her behind the Bed Bath & Beyond?
Motorboat.
Letting Peter Headland motorboat you behind a Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right. So this is the best part. There's chat screen open on the left side that I believe is her talking to Rhiannon. And the chat is called Motorboa. It's motorboat without the M, without the T. And I don't know if they wouldn't put motorboat on the chat. The name of the chat was basically motorboat. And then it consists of the following 5 lines. Quotes around, biatch, what a loser. Yeah, totally. He is going to be so dead. Yep, that guy totally has it coming. I'm out of here.
What?
It was just like, I don't know, but I just loved it. I was like, this felt great. Like, I feel like that's how two friends like that would talk, though. Like, it's good.
Absolutely.
She would also name the chat something crazy like Motor Boa.
I'm trying to remember if you could name chats like that. Or was that her screen name? Was that Rhiannon's screen name?
We can believe that. That could be canon.
And do one more thing.
Yeah, shoot.
The song that she sings during the pep rally, the Knock on Wood song, made me think a lot of the new Taylor Swift song that talks about Travis Kelce's penis.
I think you mean his tallywhacker.
Tallywhacker.
That scene. That's a pair.
Guys, noun, adjective, or verb? Noun. It's definitely slang. Think British.
Tallywhacker? Termagant.
Yob. Frast.
You're just saying sounds. They are probably my favorite movie parents, I must say. I would also like to note that I think Emma Stone is really good at playing a super awkward teenager.
Definitely.
Like when she's like,
A's for awesome.
I was like, oh, that's so like cringe teenager way you'd say it then. And it was so perfect. I also really like that she's totally cool not always being super glam. Like the face she makes when she's like, yum, with her like one eye closed and then it's cross-eyed, and probably one of my most overused GIF reactions, actually, which I did not realize was from this movie. But I just appreciate that she like always is like all in.
A lot of comedies I really like, Zombieland. Crazy Stupid Love's not fully a comedy, but she's in that and is fantastic. Big fan of Emma Stone in general. And I think part of it's because things just like that.
Yeah. Rhiannon is a terrible friend. I wrote it down twice.
She is a terrible friend.
I can understand being like, bitch, listen to me, or bitch, tell me. Like, I have had that kind of, we'll call it relationship with other girlfriends before. And I super appreciated when Olive was like,
you call
me bitch a lot, okay? It's not really a term of endearment.
I want every detail. Now, shitface.
You're not really heading in the right direction with that one either.
Tell me!
And I super appreciated that, like, realness and that, like, call out. But Rhiannon is a terrible friend for how she treats Olive in general, for not believing Olive when she's like, hey, I didn't actually do that, and now it's a thing, and I don't want it to be, and I need your help. And Rhiannon's like, whatever, sex kitten, or whatever she says, sex monkey. Then later, when Olive finds out that Rhiannon was Todd's first kiss, like a year later, like, that feels like the ultimate girl betrayal.
Here's the thing about it, though. Rhiannon doesn't listen to her. Is the thing.
Right.
Just like straight up ignores. She says 3 times, I didn't do this. Even when she finally says yes, that's not convincing. If this is your best friend, you know that if you were listening, you would know they were not telling the truth. She isn't listening. Honestly, you also could totally have bypassed this whole movie if she would just listen, not only because she wouldn't have pulled her into the bathroom to talk about it, but she said all that to get out of going camping with her family for the weekend is the whole reason this whole thing started. And again, if she could just be a good friend and listen, then Olive could be like, listen, I don't really like camping.
Yeah, if they were as close as they were, like you're saying, well, I wouldn't have had to exist to begin with. But we didn't do anything. Okay, fine, we did, but I'm not the kind of girl to kiss and tell should have been enough. Pressuring her to give all the juicy details for this non-existent encounter. Like, also, if you're going to pull someone into the bathroom to have a private conversation, check the stalls. Look for feet.
I don't think I'd believe you if you said that with the same tone that she said it. I'd be like, no, you didn't. Okay. All right. I get it now. You didn't. Even if I just didn't listen to you the first 3 times, when you said it, I'd be like, no, that's not the voice of somebody that just had sex for the first time and is excited to tell me about it. That's not what's happening.
Okay. Are we ready to roll?
We are ready to roll. We're going to go ahead and roll for a few segments to do. And for this, we roll a d20. And Squid, why don't you go first?
8.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Is this movie a Die Hard? As I understand it, no.
It is definitively not a Die Hard.
Can you explain, because I had never heard this before when we were coming up with this list of questions. Can you explain again what this question means?
All right. So the movie Die Hard takes place in a single location and involves a guy defeating the bad guys, right? So an example is that Speed is Die Hard on a bus, right? Mostly takes place on a bus. There's a bad guy, there's good guys. So it's things like that, right? Speed 2 is Die Hard on a boat.
Okay, I have a question. Is the last Harry Potter movie a Die Hard?
Ooh, such a good question.
I think it is. It takes place in one place, and they have to defeat the bad guy.
Honestly, I think all the Harry Potter movies
kind
of might be. Well, any of them that take place pretty much at Hogwarts.
At Hogwarts, yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's fine, because there are parts of Die Hard that are not in the building.
That's
small
true.
Parts, but there are parts that are not in the building. But the main action of the movie takes place in a singular location. So, yeah, probably the first few Harry Potters and the last one could very well be.
If you count the grounds of
Hogwarts at a magic boarding school.
All right, why don't you go ahead and roll another?
So we've decided it is not a Die Hard.
It is definitely not a Die Hard.
Fairly accurate. All right.
Moving on. Go ahead, roll.
I got a 3.
Hey, look, kids. There's Big Ben and there's Parliament.
How rewatchable is this movie? This one's great
really
for a rewatch.
I may have scanned the DVDs at the thrift stores this past weekend looking to see if I could find a copy of it. I did not, but I also totally ADD'd out and couldn't find one.
This is one of those things that I kind of had some end of movie thoughts on this, and one of them was, this movie's only 16 years old. It feels like it's been a part of my life for longer than that because of how many times I've probably watched it, but that was all before I had kids, and so I haven't watched it a lot in several years. I think this is one of those instant classics for me, and I'm excited to have older kids so I can be at a point where I can just put this on.
You can make them spell bad words with their P's.
My kids are good spellers. They'd be able to do that, no problem.
I think you and your wife need to start choosing a family member of the week and have it be a really long time running joke. And when your kids see this movie, they're going to be like, hang on, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to roll. 4.
Santa here? I know him.
Where else do we know the key actors from? Stanley Tucci was in Devil Wears Prada and in the upcoming Devil Wears Prada 2 that I'm very excited for. Emma Stone from Cruella, and I recognized the mom, but I'm not sure from what. Obviously, Mrs. Griffith was from Friends and Romy and Michelle's.
Yeah. Mr. Griffith, I feel like I should verify this, but he was on was he on like Wings or something? Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh, and then there was Marianne's dad is Fred Armisen, which he's been in a ton of stuff. Amanda Bynes has also been in a lot of things. Thomas Hayden Church is who Mr. Griffith is.
He was just in the newest Knives Out, which is I love that whole series. So
he was also in Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been in a ton of stuff. Oh yeah, he was in Wings. 123
That's where I
episodes
first
of
saw
Wings.
him. Jumping back to Stanley Tucci real quick, you also get him in Hunger Games. But I think my first exposure to Stanley Tucci was probably in A Life Less Ordinary, which is a Cameron Diaz, Ewan McGregor movie that I think probably not a lot of people have seen, but it's great.
I also forget that he was in The Lovely Bones, which is a pretty good book to movie translation. He's also been in so much stuff.
Totally. And he's great.
But he was in ER. He was actually in 10 episodes of ER.
Oh,
ER is another one of those.
I started rewatching that, so.
Oh, I rewatched that during COVID, and it held up pretty well.
Well, because we've been watching The Pit, so it's fun to go back and see.
I am almost caught up on The Pit.
Young Carter.
Yeah. Oh, God, he was so hot. Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
All right. 5.
Why am I drippings with goo?
What gave us the ick from this movie? Not a lot. Maybe the idea of a high school counselor sleeping with, albeit
a fourth year
legal.
Senior.
God wanted him there because if not, he would have given him the test answers.
Rhiannon gave me the ick, honestly. Also, I initially got the ick when she was like, Judy Blume should have prepared me for that. Because I was like, you didn't read enough Judy Blume. But then I realized on my second watch that she meant Judy Blume didn't prepare her for being a fake harlot. And I was like, oh, that's fair. Judy Blume did not write a book about that. If she did, I probably would have read it way too early. Like all of the other Judy Blume books I read.
Like
but
visually and whatnot, we made it through a movie with a high school party that had no vomit in it. So that's cool.
Thankfully.
There was like no gross humor.
Aside from
Okay, that's fair. I gotta shout out. I do think that the punch in the stomach is a great move. Was she ready for the big finish?
Oh yeah.
She punches him in the stomach.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. I mean, even the weirdness of Rhiannon's parents didn't really give me the ick, even though it was kind of a gross scene. That's pretty much it. Okay. 14.
I'm becoming Brundlefly.
What human-animal swap would be best for the main character? Okay, so it would be super weird if Olive were an animal and no one else in this movie was.
Yeah, they'd all have to be.
I feel like in this case, they would either all have to be animals, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think this is Miss Piggy's villain origin story.
Is Marianne Miss Piggy?
No.
Oh.
Olive is Miss Piggy.
Oh, okay.
They accuse her of being a whore, and she turns bitter and is slightly abusive and only dates men who do whatever she says. Or in this case, frogs who do whatever she says.
I like it because it's Emma Stone here who got to do the villain origin story for Cruella. Yes. So we know she can do that. I will argue that if we're turning the whole cast into animals, I'd say there's some merit in all of them being not dogs, but things in that family. So wolves, foxes, various breeds of dogs, things along those lines, because you get to represent the entire school in various canine forms, which could be really fun. Or
so wait, then
idea.
What breed of dog would Olive have been?
My first thought was greyhound, but I don't know why.
I know. She would be a poodle, but she would be a poodle with a puppy cut. And then when she turns into a fake harlot, she would get the standard poodle show cut. And that would be her fancy outfits. And they would paint an A on her somewhere behind one of her little butt tufts. That's
I like it. I could also make the same argument for turning everyone into the same thing, but it's birds instead. You got some eagles and sparrows and various types of birds. I feel like anything like that where you've got like a large variety where you can represent the different group.
I feel like in that case, Olive would be something like a house finch that's just kind of tiny and brown and normal looking. And then I don't know how you haute couture up a finch. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's see. 1.
Oh, I'm like the Crypt Keeper!
Did this age well? I think so. I think for the most part, because honestly, I feel like the things about this that wouldn't have aged well were never really great.
Well, and like there's enough of, we'll call it modern technology, that the references to those things aren't so far-fetched anymore, right? There's
Yeah.
you see
webcast
kids
would be a
checking their
TikTok
phones.
live.
Someone's
but
got a sidekick, which isn't really a thing anymore, but the reference to Facebook and having a website, going to saveolive.com.
Free Olive.
Those things, that would probably be like a TikTok live, and rumors might have spread via Snapchat or TikTok instead. But I think that the modern technology in this movie makes it so that it aged pretty well.
I mean, with the exception of possible scents that no longer exist anymore.
Yeah, that's really the only, a parent could explain the allure of Juniper Breeze, but yeah.
There you go. I was gay once, and I used to wear a lot of Juniper Breeze.
I don't know if Miranda Priestley would have appreciated Juniper Breeze, honestly.
It's fair.
Andy would have worn Juniper Breeze, and Miranda would have been like, what is that awful smell? Okay, any final thoughts?
To continue a trend with me talking about Clueless in these podcasts, when Olive and Ree are fighting, Olive refers to Ree as a jealous virgin, and I could not help but call back to Ty from Clueless.
Just a virgin who can't drive.
Exactly.
Yep. I thought the same thing immediately.
I don't think I realized how much Clueless lives in my brain until we started this.
To be fair, Clueless did invent a whole language that has taken over our vernacular, basically. So that's fair. I thoroughly enjoyed when Olive said something about being Gossip Girl in the Sweet Valley of the Traveling Pants. I really enjoyed that. Also,
and if there's one thing worse than chlamydia, it's Florida.
And I think that's it again. Oh, the dramatic overacting of Olive and her parents. I don't remember if we talked about that. When Brandon first comes over and she's like,
he said something about asking for your hand in marriage. Oh, happy day, Mama. Oh, I thought I was going to have to spend my dowry on booze and pills to numb the loneliness.
So delightful.
It's great. Not only are the parents really funny, because there are other things. The whole everything has spell check these days was a good line.
Yes.
Or the
Also
excitement.
true.
Yeah, spell it with your P's. So that whole thing. I loved.
Any friend of Olive's is a friend of our daughter's.
Oh, and there's a whole jar of them in the pantry, and he's like, oh, I must have the wrong house.
No, I'm kidding with you. Or,
honey, after we watch the bucket list, remember to watch the bucket list off our bucket list.
Yes.
But
which is 100% something I feel like I would say.
They're just such good parents, and they're so supportive. Even though it's a funny line, I'd slit my throat rather than say something to someone that you didn't want me to say. It just feels nice. Like, yeah, good. He's supportive. And then at one point, the dad even says,
give him help.
Yeah.
It's not a funny line. It's just a supportive line.
And she's kind of bitchy to him, and he's just like, whatever you're doing, give him hell.
They're in her corner the whole time. It's great.
And then her mom tells her that she whored her way through high school and demonstrates how high she could kick her leg. And I thought that was a cute scene.
If you ask my wife, like one of the memorable things in here is when she goes up into Melody's ear really close. Melody boss stick.
But like her general way of mouth acting is, acting with her face just makes everything she does so much more delightful. And that was definitely the case in that particular scene too. Because again, you were really close in tight on that interaction, like you were there right there at that crowded party, kind of overhearing it.
We got a few others. One is Micah's list of things that won't keep him from being with Mrs. Griffiths.
I love you and I want to be with you, and nobody can stop us. Not my mother, not Marianne, not even the school board or the president of the Americas.
Yes.
Oh, the Bible, it's up in bestsellers next to Twilight.
That's maybe one of the only things that didn't age well, because I don't think Twilight's a bestseller anymore, but it could be wrong.
No, and
I've read it or seen it.
I have not read it, but I have seen all of them. And then during the whole scene where Woodchuck Todd is walking without his head.
Oh my God, the illusion is shattered. This is exactly why they put you in the gas chamber if you take your head off at Disney World.
Actually, I think they just, they fire you. You're thinking of Disneyland. Disney World is much more liberal.
Oh yeah, I always forget Disney World went blue in the last election.
I verified that Florida did actually go blue in 2008.
Disney World's probably a blue dot anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Not that you live in Disney World or vote in
Yeah,
Disney
Orlando.
World, but, I want to make one more argument that is related to a quote here at the end of this. Is Todd the only actual, good student in this movie?
I think he's probably the only one that we get to know. I'm sure there are others.
Surely he knows what's been said about her this whole time, and it doesn't matter.
I think he admitted to it at one point.
Right. He says notoriety only benefits the notees, right? So
Yeah. I wonder if she wasn't as invisible as she thought she was, but she just wasn't fully paying attention.
certainly could be.
Yeah, that's it, I think.
All right. So what did you think of this movie?
I rated it 9 out of 10 tentacles. What's your fish scale?
It got 4.5 fins. It got 4 and a Nemo fin.
4 and a Nemo fin.
But yeah, I mean, it got real close. A perfect 5 is going to be reserved for very few. But I think 4 and a Nemo fin is certainly deserving for this movie.
Shall we let the dice decide the next movie?
Let's let the dice decide. I'll roll for the page. Page 4.
Okay, I'm going to roll the D8 and the D10 for the second number. I got a 5 for the first number and an 8 for the second. What have we got?
This is Coda. This is the Apple TV movie from 2021. You have not seen it. I have it favorited. All right, and so now we need to roll for what we're going to focus on when we watch Coda.
So we've added topics so that we don't get so repetitive.
Or yes, we have additional topics now so that we can
so we're rolling
have to
our
do the same
D12 now.
3 things.
I was going to burn shit down if I had to do color theory again.
All right, go ahead and roll your D12. See what you're going to focus on. Hold on. Do we want to talk about what our new topics are?
Maybe we should. Originally, we had technology and science, color theory, special and practical effects, fashion, cinematography, and dialogue. We added casting, a deep dive, soundtracks, marketing of the movie, a quiz your co-host section, and continuity. So those are our new topics. Okay, I'm going to roll for my focus. 11. Quiz your co-host. This will be interesting. Right out of the gate. This will be interesting. I'm not sure how good at quizzing you I will be, but we will give it a shot.
If it makes you feel better. I do have this marked as a favorite, but I have only seen it a couple of times. So
okay.
All right. And my focus area is marketing. I always get your areas of expertise.
No, but I feel like when it comes to movies, you pay a bit more attention to the marketing of a movie than maybe the average person does.
That's fair.
So
we'll have to see because it was an Apple TV one. So I don't know how much they really did, but we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember if I even ever heard of it. So
well, on that note, thanks for rolling with us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. You I'll talk to in like 30 seconds, maybe.
That's what you think.
Bye.
Until next time, thanks for rolling with us. As always, hit that subscribe button, follow us on socials at CinemaRollPod, check out our website, cinemaroll.com, and leave us a review. Cinema Roll is produced by Jacob Balson and RJ Hay, and edited by RJ Hay. Music is sourced from Pixabay, and mixed by RJ Hay.
And the Judd Nelson fist bump, fist pump. I keep saying pump.
Sweet.
Totally. Why is that not a thing?
How is that not a thing?
Who is that not a thing?
We're such adults.
Overrated.
A's for awesome.